Hello Sagittarius friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my video, Sagittarius February 2021 Astrology Must Knows. And also welcome if you're listening to the syndicated podcast version of this on my new podcast, Astro Kisses with Annie Botticelli. Okay, so the wonderful, happy, zesty Sagittarius festival continues. As a fellow Sagittarius, I'm very happy to report that we have yet another sequence of planetary combinations that are really yummy for Sag. So I'm going to give you all the breakdown. I'm also going to tell you some things to look out for, but overwhelmingly, this is a super positive time for Sagittarius. So let's just take it piece by piece. The first thing to know is that as planets, the ones closest to us and the ones further away from us, and they all are in Aquarius pretty much right now, or not all of them, but a lot of them, are moving through Aquarius. This is a wonderful angle for Sagittarius. Okay, everything in astrology is mathematical. So the angles that the planetary placements make to our placements create certain effects. And the 60-degree angle is full of opportunities and sweet yumminess. Now, remember the 60-degree angle is the, which we have a proliferation of this month for Sagittarius. And actually this whole year, because of Jupiter and Saturn being in Aquarius, we've got a long-term story of what I'm about to say and a short-term extra concentrated story of what I'm about to say, which is 60-degree angles give you ingredients on a counter to do something, to do many different things. Each placement through Aquarius, coming through and dancing, touching your Sag placements, are giving you opportunities. They're giving you ingredients. They're giving you puzzle pieces that you just have to do the work and put them where they belong and do something with them. Okay, so it's really exciting. So we've got kisses from the sun bringing warmth and energy and brightness. We've got kisses from Venus bringing boosts to money and finances and relationships. We've got kisses from Mercury, which is bringing more information. And we've got lots of kisses from Mercury. We have lots of kisses from Mercury because Mercury is going to be in retrograde. This is another must know for Sagittarius because, and this is a must know for everybody, the whole push moving forward, making up for lost time, open stars for launches and doing everything time is now closed again. So at the end of November 2020, all of December, the first half of January, we had the first open stars that we had for a really long time. Now, towards the end of January and all of February, we are covered in Mercury retrograde, which means changes to plans, things get called into question, miscommunications, things breaking down like your electrical items and things like that. Things like that needing attention in your close proximity. And that's really where, Sagittarius are usually happy-go-lucky by nature, right? We can have so much more ease and grace in the retrograde time, which is what I wrote this book, Planetology, about, if we just align with the rhythm. So retrograde time is not a time to push out our big ideas. And Sagittarius always have big ideas and lots of projects, right? It's fine to work on things in the backdrop. It's amazing for that. And you may find another kiss that you get this month is beautiful creativity benders, going back to your old projects, putting finishing touches on them, revamping them, getting them ready to come out. Oh, and we are going to have a big coming out party. Let me tell you, it's true that we're going to have Pisces things to deal with that are going to be a nuisance in March, specifically for Sag. But March and April are still two of my favorite months of the whole year because we've got an amazing amount of sweet aspects. So hopefully that will soften what usually can be a little bit more of a challenging time for Sagittarius. But in any case, March and April are full of opportunities to push things forward again. But this is the time to kind of review the pushes that we've already made, to make plans for the next push, the next vision, the next birthing. And just sort of prepare ourselves and clean up the space and, deal with things that broke and clutter and, just kind of reining it in a little bit because we really have had an activity festival. We've had an action festival and now it's just shifting a little bit and it's fine. And we can still be comfortably productive as long as we honor if we're trying to push and it's not working, just rein it in. Now, since Mars is in Taurus, and that's going to be accentuating the 6th house, which is, things like getting your ducks in a row for your medical things like that. Now, I don't necessarily, unless it's an emergency or you have an intuition, February is not the best time for medical diagnostics because Mercury retrograde can kind of cast a shadow upon results that we get. Of course, if it's important, if it's life-threatening, certainly, if you have a bad feeling about it and feel like it has to be now, then do it. You have to follow that always has to supersede anything that we're talking about from these transits. But March and April are going to be more clear times for decisive action, for getting more answers. But this is a good time to start getting a plan together, getting your list of all of the doctors that you need to catch up with, getting a list or doing research on ideas for diet changes or exercise protocols. This is an amazing month for gathering information, and Sagittarius are epic at this, right? This isn't one of our really great gifts that we have is gathering information. So let this month be a month that you gather information for your future plans rather than a month for making a lot of plans. Now, that being said, you might find yourself being whisked away on some little trips or excursions or making a plan for a future trip, or at least thinking about or researching a future trip. And that's always a very exciting time for Sag. So even though I know, at least in the United States, probably from what we've heard, there will probably be a 100-day lockdown of some sort from the time of the inauguration in January. But even that being true, it doesn't mean that some people won't have exceptions and be traveling for business or traveling for other reasons. And people in different countries might be having a different experience of this by then. But all I can say for sure is that there is going to be a lot of busyness this month. And you're going to find yourself very likely having some last minute trip opportunities or, like I said, getting your car or your something ready for trips that are coming soon. It's very exciting. Also, writing projects are really, 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 really coming up. And communications projects, speaking projects, things like that are super lit up for Sag at this time. Okay, so everyone is going to have a chance to be positive. Every Sag is going to have a chance to be positively affected by this particular Mercury retrograde because Mercury is making that nice angle. And those of us, those of you who are in the December born part of the sign, then we have even more of a chance for extra kisses from this Mercury retrograde. If you haven't already, run a free birth chart. Okay, this is something I've been getting on you guys about for a while because I want to help you deepen the work and use the information that I give you in greater ways. I had been directing you to just run a free birth chart online, and that might still be what I'm saying to do, but do know that I am working on getting an access to run a free birth chart for those people who are on my email newsletter list, like getting software that people that are on my email newsletter list can access to run the free birth chart. So just kind of keep an eye out for that, or just go ahead and go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter now, because you'll be informed of the access when hopefully I can get that working. But however you do it, running a free birth chart will tell you if you have more than one placement in Sagittarius. It will tell you if you have your birth time, your rising sign, your moon sign, and I have 9 placements in Sag. So I have a lot of chances for kisses because I have a lot of aspects or a lot of placements between 11 and 27 degrees, which this Mercury retrograde is going to be. So I want you to know that for yourself, and the only way to know that is by running a free birth chart. Okay, so also this is for you. This report is for you if Sag is your sun sign, Sag is your rising sign, Sag is your moon sign. Some people like to watch for their Venus and Mars. This is also for you. If you have any Sag placements that you watch for, this information is going to be part of your bigger picture. Okay. So pets might need attention because of that 6th house Mars. And, this might be a good time to give them extra of what they need because the pet topic is coming up. If you're planning on getting a pet, if you're looking for your forever friend, I'm not saying that you're not going to find your forever friend this month. I'm saying that this is a month that lends itself more to short-term things, but you have to follow your flow. The finding of your perfect soulmate pet can supersede some astrological transits, but in general, I like March and April into the first half of May for long-term things like trying to find your pet, but you might start researching the type of animal you might want and things like that. There's a lot of energy around animals. Okay, so mark your calendar for February 11th. This is a very big time in the cosmos, and particularly for Sagittarius, because concurring, besides also Chinese New Year is right around then too, concurring with this new moon in Aquarius. So the new moon in Aquarius can bring new beginnings for friendships, relationships, or could be bringing back old friendships, new beginnings for old friendships. Since we've got this tilt of the past with the retrograde, then we've got the new moon. There could be something about the past, something with your social circles, your social media, your internet-based projects. Something could come back around, or it could be kind of getting recycled or redone and opening up in a new way. But what is really exciting about this time is the Venus-Jupiter conjunction. And Venus and Jupiter getting together, the two benefics of the zodiac, can definitely boost self-esteem, confidence, bring good romantic news, good relationship news, good money news. And every Sag has a chance to feel that even more, than some of the signs, because again, this is at a nice angle for Sagittarius. All of this Aquarius action is just super sweet for us. And anyone that's close to 11 or 12 degrees. So this is going to be like especially the first few, like the closer to December 1st, December 2nd-ish, the more this is true for you. But we'll put it like the last few days of November up through like December 7th or so, and the closer to the 1st or 2nd of December, the more the chance for the kiss because of the angle that's being made for your Sag placement. So that's very exciting. Okay, so the February 27th full moon at 8 degrees of Virgo is at a tough angle. Okay, this is the contrast, and this is one of the things this month that is a little bit, well, not as exciting, is that this full angle could be a little bit more stressful for Sagittarius because it makes a square to our placement. Okay, we've been talking about all of these nice angles, and this is something where it's just a little more pressure, a little more stress, a little more drama. Good things can still come from it, but if you can save some space around the 27th, you might be glad you did, because you might have to show up for some emotions or some things that have to be taken care of. And those of you who are in the last couple of days of the November borns, and so again, we'll say maybe like November 25th or so through the first couple of days of December, you all are going to be more likely to be hit by this in a way that you really feel it. And the closer you are to like 8 degrees, so that's like November 30th or so, the more intense that could be. Okay. All right. So there is something else that's going on, and this is a very, very big deal. And this is something I'm going to address more deeply in another video that will, I think it's going to follow this video. If it doesn't, you can look it up separately. And that has to do with Saturn squaring Uranus. We've been dancing with this energy because Saturn and Uranus have been in a close proximity in and out of it for 2020, but they're going to hit 3 times this year: February, June, and December, and then again in October of 2022. So we've got another, major set of life-changing, global-changing ingredients for, our astrological picture. And we'll really feel this, so the old versus the new, traditional versus the innovative, and just kind of trying to blend systems without catering too much to unstable, fledgling ideas without substance, and trying to take the edge off of the extra unnecessary stodgy pieces. So kind of finding like a blend of those two is not always a graceful process. And that's what humanity has been going through, and we've got more hits of that. And one of those hits is going to be this month. So that is going to be happening at the same time. But I'm hoping that because of all of this nice stuff for Sag, that it will soften some of these other placements, or at least help to buoy while the conflict is going on. But definitely look for my Saturn square Uranus video or podcast on Astro Kisses so that you can really, really understand this transit. Okay, so let's see what else I wanted to talk about. Well, those are the major things, okay? So let this month be a month that you are the spider. You've taken the end of November, December, first half of January to weave your web, Now in the retrograde, you're sitting back, you're waiting to see what food comes to you. You're quietly working on making some adjustments to your web in the backdrop. You know, in this case, your web might be your book or your, you know, it might be your house, or it might be, you know, who knows, whatever it is. You're quietly working in the backdrop and seeing what comes to you. You're leaving space for plans to change. You're leaving space for magical last minute opportunities to show up, and you can say yes to them because you're not overscheduled. Knowing that a lot of things might be cast into uncertainty this month, but things cast into uncertainty at this time are very likely going to start to have more clarity in March and April. So if things have become clear, they've become murky, if they've become uncertain, then just know that's just intrinsic in the retrograde process. It kind of gets us to second guess everything. And then you'll be able to move, you know, move forward with more certainty as March and April wear on. And as I mentioned, just to kind of give you a sneak peek, March, as we have a lot of water energies, is going to be very, very emotional. And that might start a little bit towards the end of February as the sun gets into Pisces. That's historically, as you will notice, this time of year gets a little weird for Sages because those Pisces placements square our Sag placements, and all that water douses our fire, and we do not like it. But there, good things can come from it, and I'll address that more when I get, you know, do the March report. But just keep in mind that lots of good energy this month for Sages, a little bit of dicey stuff getting into March, but once the planets start to get into Aries, towards the end of April, things are going to light up for Sagittarius like the 4th of July. Okay, so we've got, and the stars will be wide open. So just kind of know that that rhythm is coming so you can prepare yourself for that flow. So if you would like to have even more information about what this month could look like for you and how you can best use the energies, then definitely tap into all of the free resources I have for you. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely sign up for my free email newsletter. Now more than ever, there are perks that come along with that, because besides getting my monthly write-up that shows the sweet and salty dates and what you can expect, what the aspects are, what you can expect from them, and what the month looks like, all in a written version delivered into your inbox 1 month early, plus my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine for Free, I'm working on having software that will allow you to run birth charts for free. Now, I can't make any guarantees that this will be in place by the time you are listening to this, because it is something I'm working on, but it is things like this that are perks that come along with being on my free email newsletter list. So you'll definitely want to do that at anniehelpsyou.com. If you want simple written horoscopes by me that will give you good details but aren't as technical as some of my other resources, then you can go to my beautiful website, cozybysweetstarlight.com. All of the links that I'm giving you are also in the notes underneath the video. Or if you're listening to the podcast version of this, they're in the notes underneath the podcast. Also, if you would like to have to listen rather than view, if you're driving or if you're not wanting to deal with the mid-roll ads that YouTube is pushing against even the creator's will, then you can check out my new podcast, Astro Kisses with Annie Botticelli. The link for that is in the notes underneath the video as well. You can see my free courses at lumelife.com, L-U-M-E life.com. That's my school, Luminous Life Multiversity. So besides having free courses, I also have some paid courses. And if you think I go into lots of details with all of the free things I give you, you should see what the paid offerings look like. Especially my course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which will equip you to do whatever you'd like to do with astrology, whether it's just help your friends and family and not do it professionally, help your own self-development, or become a practicing astrologer. And I also give information on how to make your astrology practice work financially, because I have been a business coach for a long time too, so that gets worked into the course. Okay, so definitely get my book Planetology if you're a fan of my work and you'd like to go deeper and you'd like to align with the natural rhythms of the universe. That's what this book is about. You can find Planetology anywhere and everywhere. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.